Kornucopia ML, enhancing analysis of test and FEA data in MATLAB. Analysts and test engineers need to combine and assess data from various sources, physical tests and simulations, often coming in a variety of units. They typically need to manipulate tons of this data that is often messy, nonlinear, and noisy. From their analysis, they need to find and derive knowledge, which will guide engineering and business decisions. Throughout this process, they need to organize their ideas and document their calculations, ultimately creating traceable, reusable workflows. Let's look at the traditional analysis approach. In this approach, we typically work with just numeric data. Our first step is to separate the data from everything else. So now we end up with a data array where we're not exactly sure what the columns or rows are, we have no knowledge about units, the source of the data, or any other meta information that might be important. Next, computing with just the numbers, we note that units are not tracked, and unit conversions, if they are used, are typically buried manually in calculations. It is then noted that when we plot the arrays of these numbers, there's typically no annotation applied to the plot by default, and it must be applied manually if done at all, which results in unclear communication. Ultimately, the traditional approach is inefficient and error-prone. Kornucopia ML is an improved approach based on three primary components. First, it has an efficient and intelligent data handling architecture that allows you to work with all your data, the numeric portion, the units, the descriptions, column names, and other important meta information. Second, Kornucopia has a broad analysis toolbox for real-world, messy, noisy, nonlinear data. And third, this is all supported by a teaching help system. Kornucopia ML provides advanced data analysis that also reduces errors and automates your workflows, saving you and your colleagues large amounts of time. The foundation of the Kornucopia toolbox is a new data type called K_units. This data type, inspired by MATLAB's table data type, allows you to hold in a single tabular-like variable a numeric matrix, its related units, descriptive text, and meta information. Through Kornucopia's seamless unit engine, you can directly compute in MATLAB with the new K_units data type, allowing for cleaner MATLAB scripts and less mistakes. Here's a typical Kornucopia variable being presented in MATLAB. This is a typical calculation that one might use. The key points here are, we have an organized tabular data format, where equations and commands are easy to read. Kornucopia handles all the units-related portions of the calculations, and your analysis is clear and accurate. Since Kornucopia's K_units data type holds all this information, it is easy to create highly informative plots. Here are two examples of Kornucopia graphs where the smart and automatic labeling of the plots is enabled by the K_units data type. With Kornucopia ML, you can quickly create fully labeled plots without any manual editing. Kornucopia's plotting features offer simple-to-use options for advanced formatting. For example, it is easy to add a summary table on graphs and figures. All of this allows you to create efficient presentation quality plots, which is a huge time savings. In contrast, the traditional approach of just using numbers often requires additional manual manipulation to properly label plots. When multiple figures are being created, it is common that each figure is individually edited, resulting in a time-intensive process for generating properly labeled presentation quality graphs. Kornucopia ML, for use with MATLAB, is truly the horn of plenty. Its foundation is the K_units data type, and it has many tools built upon this foundation, beginning with automated text file importing and parsing, as well as third-party file importing for Abacus and Spectral Dynamics impact software. Kornucopia has a variety of other tools also, including data adjusting, cleaning and curve averaging, string creation and manipulation, numerical integration and differentiation, a variety of DSP tools for doing filtering and spectrum analysis, specialized shock response tools to calculate absolute acceleration and pseudo-velocity shock response, highly automated plotting and labeling, flexible text writing, and an educational help system. Kornucopia ML allows you to work smarter and faster. Here's a typical data file that comes from the MTS data acquisition system. There are multiple stacked data sets. The header sections have data and units in them, and the tabular portion of the data comes with column names and units as well. This is readily analyzed with Kornucopia using just a few functions. The k_read text and k_plot functions can automatically read the file in and parse it, and then quickly produce this automatically labeled plot, where we see we have a little bit of cleanup to do. This is easily done with a few other Kornucopia functions that allow us to trim, tweak, shift, and average the data to produce this useful average curve shown here. Kornucopia is also quite powerful when analyzing noisy data with filtering. Here's an example of some test and FEA simulation data from a penetration event. Using Fourier spectrum analysis, we can understand over what frequency range the data is potentially similar, and then apply a filter to find out that indeed the FEA and test information is quite similar within a common frequency band, ultimately turning a mess to success. With Kornucopia ML, you get faster data analysis with greater understanding, because you get to work with all your data, numbers, units, and text. This enables flexible and more accurate workflows, giving you and your team greater confidence in your results. There are tools to process messy and noisy data for solving important real-world problems. With efficient plotting that has automatic labeling, you can quickly and clearly communicate your results. And our real-world template examples allow you to jumpstart your solutions. This is all supported with a teaching help system that allows you to learn more and grow your value. Kornucopia ML improves the speed, precision, and effectiveness of you and your team.